history has been made. During the most recent edition of the 24 Hours of Spa, Lamborghini secured the overall victory with one of their Huracan GT3 cars, which not just delivered the Italian brand their first win of Belgium's renowned endurance race, but the result gave them their first overall victory of a 24-hour race in general. But how exactly did Lamborghini pull off this incredible achievement and beat 9 other car brands which have all been very successful in the past at the Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps? Well, in this video, I'll show you how Lamborghini made history by winning the 24 Hours of Spa in 2025. Before this year's event even began, everyone besides Lamborghini and McLaren had won at Spa overall at least once. And in the case of Lamborghini, they actually had the least amount of success at 24-hour endurance races. In fact, up until this Belgian venue, Lamborghini's last victory in a 24-hour endurance race came about 5 years ago in 2020, when Paul Miller Racing won the GTD class victory with a Huracan GT3 during the Rolex 24 Daytona in Florida within the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Now, here at Spa in 2025, the Bologna-based manufacturer brought 6 Huracan GT3 Evo 2s to the event, but just 2 of the entries were in the Pro class, and these were cars from Grasser Racing Team and the Vincenzo Superi squad. And by the way, in this video, I'll mainly just be focusing on the cars battling for the overall win in the Pro category. The qualifying sessions for the race saw the number 163 VSR Lamborghini start in 7th, and the number 63 GRT Lamborghini would be starting in 12th. At the beginning of this race, McLaren led from pole during the majority of the first hour, followed by GetSpeed's Mercedes and the first of the AF Corsa Ferraris. But during the first hour, Lamborghini showed very strong pace, especially with the 163 VSR entry, driven by Sandy Mitchell at the time. Mitchell was on a roll, and he was displaying that the Huracan GT3 was truly a very competitive race car here at Spa. And in fact, he was actually able to move into the lead of this race overall, ahead of pole sitter Marvin Kirchhofer in the number 59 McLaren from Garage 59. And in fact, as the race progressed, Lamborghini continued to stay at the front of the pack, especially with that number 163 entry. Meanwhile, at the end of the 6th hour, Luca Engstler had got the GRT Lambo into 6th overall, as he prepared to hand the car over to last year's DTM champion Mirko Bortolotti. However, heartbreak hit the number 163 VSR Lambo with around 15 or so hours remaining, as the car had a power steering issue, which took it out of the running. This was super unfortunate for the entry driven by Frank Pereira, Sandy Mitchell, and Marco Mappelli, who were in contention for the win as they battled for the top 5 positions for over 10 hours. Although it wasn't all bad news for the Italian manufacturer, as the number 63 GRT Huracan was still in the fight and running a really strong race, and as the sun started to come up again after a very long night, Mirko Bortolotti found himself in the lead of the race with 11.5 hours remaining, but with just a few seconds separating him and 3-time overall winner here, Philippine, aboard the number 998 BMW from Rove Racing. Following the South African racer Jordan Pepper taking over the wheel of the number 63 from Mirko Bortolotti, who had another fantastic stint, as the daytime hours fully returned, it became clear that the battle for the win was mainly between the Italians and the Germans, as Lamborghini, Ferrari, BMW, and Porsche each had a car within the fight to claim the overall victory. Throughout the remainder of this race, Team GRT continued to perform brilliant stints with their 3 drivers to stay ahead of entries like the Ferrari AF Corsa entries. But not only was the pace and strategy a significant factor as to how Lamborghini won at Spa, but it was also because of this specific move by Mirko Bortolotti, who returned to pilot the car during another stint, as the 2024 DTM champion got past the Rootronic Porsche, which eventually became critical for Grasser Racing Team, as Bortolotti was able to move ahead and build a gap to the number 96 car to stay in the lead. With just under an hour remaining, Mirko Bortolotti had grown the gap to 5.5 seconds to Patrick Niederhauser in that number 96 Porsche from Rootronic Racing. But this car was still involved in the fight for the win, and the 911 GT3R could easily take over the lead if there was any mistakes for Bortolotti and the Grasser Racing team. With just under 40 minutes remaining, Niederhauser and the Rootronic Racing team went for an undercut strategy on the Hurricane and pit first. And when Bortolotti came in for his final pit stop, there was a little bit of a scary moment as the car wouldn't pull away immediately, which at first was reminiscent to what we saw at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2023 when the leading Ferrari 499P had a similar issue. But thankfully the Lamborghini just lost a few seconds and was able to continue to lead this race from the Porsche. But the Lamborghini with Mirko Bortolotti still behind the wheel had lost around 6 seconds, which closed the gap between these two cars to just around 3 seconds to go. But as time ticked down, Bortolotti continued to hold first place ahead of Patrick Niederhauser, and eventually the Grasser Racing team and Bortolotti would do enough to cross the finishing line in first place to deliver this monumental result for the Italian manufacturer at Spa. Lamborghini truly had one of the most consistent cars on pace in this event, and they fully deserved this result with the perfect execution of strategy, pace, consistency, and even reliability for the number 63 car. Mirko Bortolotti would share this victory with his co-drivers Jordan Pepper and Luca Inchler to deliver the Italian brand their first ever victory at the 24 Hours of Spa. And it was a pretty remarkable win considering the fact that this could have been the very last victory for the Hurricane GT3 Evo 2 in a major 24-hour endurance race, considering Lamborghini has a new Temerario GT3 coming in 2026 as the replacement for the Hurricane. As I briefly pointed out, Lamborghini's win at Spa also marked their first overall 24-hour win in the history of this brand's existence in motorsport. And this was their first major endurance triumph since securing the victory in the GTD Pro class last year at Motul Petit Le Mans with the Iron Lynx team in the IMSA WeatherTech series. And by the way, with the Italian manufacturer winning in 2025, Lamborghini is now classified as the 20th different manufacturer to win overall at this iconic endurance race. So, Lamborghini is now officially classified as a winner of the 24 Hours of Spa, and the Grasser Racing team and their drivers have automatically been put in the history books of this iconic Belgian endurance race. But now I want to know, what are your thoughts on this historic achievement for the Italian marque? Is this the first of many wins for Lamborghini in overall 24-hour competition? Well, be sure to let me know all your thoughts in the comments below.